everybody. Hello, Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Let's play chess. Um, I played these two games while I'm not sure if it's called biting, whiting, reciting, but I've been I like just singing these rap tracks, not singing, um, reciting some rap tracks. You heard me uh, do Mickey Avalon's "Roll the Dice," and then well, anyway, this is the chess portion thing. Who did it? Oh, some Jadakiss was involved. Certain definite involvement of Jadakiss. So this is the ending position of the first of these two games, which I'm going to go through thoroughly because it was a very accurate and good game, and because I won. I love reviewing my own wins. Is pretty much that's how a lot of chess players are. So yeah, without further ado, let's go over this game in particular. I guess we could start with the review. My opponent chose this sort of offbeat b3, and my advice, I heard this as advice and I use it when it's helpful. When you face like an offbeat opening, some opening move that you haven't seen before, or that you've seen only once before, whatever. The idea is, unless you know that line, stick to something that's solid. Don't give away the farm. Try punishment. B3 does not lead to mate in 14 and a half moves. I don't even have B3 does. It's not an automatic, forced mate in 14 or anything like that. You're not going to crush somebody for choosing an opening that's just off the beaten path. So normal opening principles apply. That's why I played D5. I thought, E5's not in, so you do have to maybe worry a little bit about quick strikes like this. But D5, I think, is a little bit safer, a little bit more solid. And these moves sort of define the opening period of this game. And now Black has taken a very strong stance in the middle, but has given up adequate coverage of the E5 square. It's attacked twice and only protected or defended, only defended once. So with White to move, one tempting idea would be but would be knight takes E5. My opponent instead chose a developing move, an interesting developing move, knight to D2. I don't think it's all that great. I think this is how Torch would calculate this this miss here, is because the material was ignored, the material gain was ignored. But even beyond that, I'm not all that much a fan of knight to D2 because the E4 square and the C4 square are both, I'd say, disputed or contended. That neither one of these are a safe place for this knight to become even more so in the action and calculations of this game of chess. So I just have to make a note to myself here to keep D5 planted for a while, and this knight's not going anywhere. E4. What did I? So I'm sure that after bishop takes F6, I think my opponent can still grab that pawn. But let's see. No, I'm mistaken in that D takes E4's the correct move, and I think I had the correct recapture rather than just sort of like leave my knight here on E4. He's on an advanced outpost, but that outpost is already undermined with the knight at D2. So just pawn takes E4. Yeah, this puts the question to White. White can't capture for fear of losing a full piece, regardless of where any potential queen swap would take place. And so this knight has pretty much got to move. Bishop takes f6 is good. Yeah, okay. queen takes f6 is good. And then knight takes e4. Yeah, I agree, that's excellent. That really puts the question not to the bishop this time, but to the queen. And as much as I thought of, dreamed somewhere down the line, snatching a rook on a1 for if perhaps my opponent, blithely moved to d3, moved queen to d3, then that rook is gone. We sometimes on long diagonals, it's kind of goofy. I'm not goofy, but it's true. Sometimes you lose tactics along the length of a very long diagonal. I don't know. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? So I put queen back to d8, and this was not the best move. Queen takes d8, king takes d8, and we're into sort of a contentious middle game. I say contentious because it is the middle game. The queens are gone. There's, I believe, some kind of minor piece exchange that's also gone. This is technically the end game now. I said middle game, I meant to say end game. This is technically the end game now, and but it's one where you probably still want to be careful about, for instance, king placement, because with all these pieces at his disposal, white can, there might be checkmate threats. All right, king to c7. So king to c7 is just this move that shows that the king can be active even when there's, quite a stir around. Bishop to f5. Knight to g5. Some of this is sort of probing for weakness. This is one of the ways to shake up a position that's otherwise mostly dry. And so I didn't want to lose a pawn and just play bishop to g6. And there's probably some reason why this is seen as not the best move. Okay. And my opponent develops his light squared bishop to d3. That's fine by me. I'll develop my bishop, pose a threat. If my opponent wants to capture here, I can recapture with h takes g6 and expose a half-open file to my rook, who hasn't had to even move and is now all of a sudden thrust into the middle of a contentious endgame. I changed the move order a bit. This was not the right move order technically. And then now this is tough because the story of the game. Knight to e6 check, and that's going to cost my opponent a full knight. Now I'm just up a piece to a pawn. It doesn't make it easy, but black's going to push to collect pawns, clarify things, so as to make it easier to simplify into a one end game. Right? It's a good game. This game, yes, this was the more recent of the games. We will probably review that game as well, but let me do something here, folks, and play the game out to practice. Or play this game out all the way. Okay. Now I played black in this game as well. Some book stuff. This game became wild and open quickly, if I recall. Definitely open. How wild this game was or not, uh, not all that wild. Not in this instance. King takes b5 as gutsy. Right, so I don't really have much to say about this game. Not to be rude to my opponent or anything. It's just in the mood I'm in, and I'm kind of excited. And I just finished reviewing that other game. I don't happen to right this moment have all that much to say about this game in particular. I handled the end game well. Other than that, I think it was pretty darn even. And I got the one pawn there on the b file to act as a decoy soon enough. It looks like it's just gonna, either I'm gonna time out and lose because my opponent has pawns, or I'm gonna get going here and put your pre-moves in, and black just barrels through. It was close, very close. Here I pushed the pawn, and then I said, "Oh, what if he goes after my other pawn, and I can't quite force the mate in that way as quickly as two queens?" Says this is all pre-moves, and so pawn to f5 was a big deal. If you're gonna play this way with pre-moves, that you're gonna just make the queens move one onto the rank or file, and then after you gotta get your when you're pushing one pawn, you might sometimes have to push the other just to put it in the protection of one of your pieces or king. All right. All right. Some great chess today, my friends. Oh, is this showing? All right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Have a great night.